got that queued up, it can record at any time our audio. So our audio is just gonna sync right now with the thing. We're gonna say beep, beep. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome everybody. Man, we didn't even set up no damn agenda.
I say we do it off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Let's do it off the cuff. This is
Mears Beats.
Mears Beats. We in the studio with Mears Beats, and I don't even know what this is gonna be called yet, but we're gonna get some studio time in. We're gonna document step 1 through I don't even know how many steps it takes to do a song, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna document it. This is gonna be a multi-part series, and we're gonna make me the dopest rapper on the East Coast. And this man right here is gonna help make, or not help, he's gonna make the music, and he's gonna coach me on how to lay a track down.
That's right. Y'all stay tuned. Check out the intro. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. As everybody knows, Chris is a huge part of the channel, and this is what he's been doing for the last 10 to 15 years. And I've always been interested in the recording and the studio side of things, and hell, ever since I seen 8 Mile, I wanted to be dope. And I figured this is the man right here to make me dope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the process of him making a song. Then we're gonna go through the process.
We're gonna make him a star.
Make me a star. And if we fail at it, hopefully it's entertaining enough. But maybe we'll succeed.
I'm glad to have you today, man. Let me say first off, I'm glad to have you up here. We're recording. This is a new setup. You can't see much of the desk and stuff like that, but we're gonna get this. We're gonna use this big screen back here. We got another one over here to the side. We're not gonna be using that. We got another audio software setup. We're recording off of that, and we're gonna be able to do full capacity over here on the it's just a laptop that's running my whole studio. I like to be mobile, so that's a major function to it. But I'm glad to have you here and can't wait to dive into it. Click, click. That's where you're gonna line it up.
Alright, Chris, so what's the first step in making a song?
First step, well, I guess I could break down the first step into a couple more steps, because you got to have your computer, you got to have something to play back on. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, but first off, just get whatever the hell you got and open it up and dig in. That's the first thing you need to do. Don't try to overcomplicate it with the equipment. I would say come in with less equipment and be better than your equipment and produce results. I use Fruit Loops. It's what I've started using. It's easy on the eyes. It looks good. It's easy to get. Before we had a little cash in the pocket, everybody's broke. It's easy to steal. It's easy to pull up. You can download the demo version from anywhere at any time, and that's one thing that I always loved about it. A computer can crash or something like that, or you're at a beginner level or something like that. You're not running too many tracks. You can stop at anybody's house, or be stranded somewhere and download FL and get started kicking a beat. So but you can also I've had 8-10 years of straight figuring things out, so there's always something else, and there's plenty of techniques. Anything that you can do in a real studio, you can basically do in there. It is condensed down digitally and all this, but for most people that are just starting out, and for the rapper just like you are, we putting you in the artist position. That shit, they just want a hot beat to freestyle off of. They don't give a fuck where it come from, how it come about. Some people do once they get into that, but for the most part, they just want to get jiggy with it.
So when you sit down to produce a song, make one yourself, do you usually have some prerequisite idea, or do you usually try to go fresh from the beginning?
Most people, I like to go fresh from it, and I like to use that first meeting time to sort of start from the bottom and grind. Like I could have a pre-packaged setup up, but then every time that they come, they're gonna want that. And after a couple years, I figured out that was me giving them ideas, not not in a cheap way where I want to nickel and dime them, but it's limiting their creativity. But because we can build that idea together, and a lot of times it will come out a lot better. A lot of times it don't. People, they don't know how to work with another person, you know, and then I got to revert back to I'll just implement what I got to do, put it in there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I try to keep it structured, but everybody's different. Everybody that I come with, some people are not that experienced, so it's just about kicking the beat, and some people, they get into it and they feel like they want to, and we do good building it from the beginning. And some people, we start that and then it really don't work, you know. They see where they want to go. They need to go spend some time on their own and sort of bubble on their craft and figure out the keys and the beats and stuff, and they sort of want to match you, you know. And that's a dynamic whenever you're stepping into like a Drake or something like that. He's half a producer, half a rapper. He's not gonna just sit back and let you roll with all these ideas. He's gonna be opinionated, and you're gonna have to be able to mesh with him. And he says, "Hey, chop it up like this," and you can't really find that timing. He's a step, yeah. He's already a step ahead of you. What are you doing? Get the hell out the chair. Get the hell out the chair. It's not. I feel like I got off a little bit. We gonna cut most of this out.
I say run with it.
You're right.
Like, I'm trying to think of questions that normal people like me don't understand, don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that if this is like a mini series or whatever, if this turns out to be 40 minutes, so be it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's.
Well, let's get back to the basics, like you said. We're starting out with it. How I set up when I'm working with person, and that's the key. Every person is different, and then once you say the person, it's focusing on the person. Over the years, your sounds, the packs, the instruments, whatever you're doing, all that's going to change eventually, but the people stay the same in raw emotions. And being on the simplest form, is it happy? Is it sad? Do you think in colors? There's microtonal music now, like there's definitely so many levels to it, and there's professionals who are professional players, but they don't even know, like I just said, a microtonal or something like that, or thinking in colors or something in a different aspect, or shapes, or having soundscapes where the shapes are interacting with themselves and evolving over time and morphing through space itself and creating an atmosphere. Focusing on the person. A good producer produces something, but I try to help and be an artist with the person that I'm working with and express their full ability and their full creativity, and really push them to that brink of doing anything and then letting them go free. And that's the most exciting thing for me, because then they're able to walk with me
right.
on that outside line of, we know what's standard, we know what's there, so let's have fun with it. Let's take these steps, you know, as many as we can each day, learning new steps, and just going in pure imagination. Willy Wonka, shout out.
Well, I mean, music to some people it's kind of like a sixth sense, but there's no right or wrong. I mean, it appeals to people on a personal level, to where
no right or wrong way, man.
So I mean, it just comes down to personal preference and making sure that your interpretation of what sounds good becomes reality through the person you're working with.
Everybody's got an opinion. And guess what? For all these artists, I'm going to just let you know, it ain't selling out, but your customers or the people buying or the people you entertain, and their opinion is way more important than yours. You need to put it like that. You need to feel it like that. If you're not saying that, you're not truly growing every day. But now you got to have confidence. I ain't trying to beat you down on the other side of it. You got to have self-esteem, but you got to listen to these folks, and you got to pay attention to demographics and say, hey, understand why these people like that, and why they don't like what you do, you know, or do like what you do, and understanding how to work around that. And you don't let the music make you. You make the music.
Get your name out there, get people noticing you, and then on your second album, take some liberties.
And see, some people say it like that. Me, I see it from the other way. It's at the point where I've been doing it so long. It's do what makes you comfortable and make a penny a day and turn that into 2 pennies a day and 4 pennies a day and do it straight from how you love it, and don't start out and then get to that point where, oh man, and you got the same old song as everybody else. You a Lady Gaga out there, I don't feel like selling perfume, I think, you know, they're corrupting me, and this ain't what this is a perfect illusion, and you know what I'm saying? What the fuck you mean? No, it is what it is. Oh, there's pedophiles. Of course there's crooked people everywhere you want to go. Now you just want to lump these people and say everybody's a bad guy because you got some guys over here, you know, these people that are doing bad stuff, but there's a majority of Hollywood that isn't bad, but on top of it, it's just elitist. You can't get involved in it, you know, they're doing everything else, so it's underground is the whole thing, and that's where you sold yourself in the beginning. It's like going to work for Walmart and for 10 or 20 years and you think you're doing something, and I've started my own company, and before long I own a Walmart. You know, at the same amount of time, and you say, why didn't you start your own and start building up? It was like, oh, because that was the easier option. You know, that's the easier option, and that's the thing, it's the easier option, but in reality it's not. That's the same way people's quitting and going and do YouTube channels and quitting to do other things. This is life. You got one roll at it, cuz you want to make somebody else money, you want to make your money, and not knowing is the worst thing about it. Yeah. Not knowing. You can always go get the Walmart job. All you gotta do is pass a piss test. You know, you can go work at Gulfstream or Georgia Ports, all that. Just don't do drugs. It's hard enough for them to find people that don't do drugs, you know, or show up every day and it's dedicated. You come in here, you'll have your job, but do you want to do that? You know, no, right. It's not that. And then once you want to, oh well, I want to get my check, I want to make sure I'm okay. That's like saying, well, I'll prostitute until I get a little bit of money, and then once I get some money, I'll start telling people what I don't want to do. It's the same exact thing, man. It's at the end of the day, it's pointless. And most people, they sell out their imagery like that, and they say, oh, this is me, this is my facade, this is my image. A lot of hip hop is like that, and really, it's just them. They're gonna flip on, once they make their money, they'll go into the Christian, they'll turn into Islam or something like that, and then, you know, it's oh man, I'm doing better, I got kids, I got family, and then they want to clean up and all after you done made the money in the grimy way. And you got to do what you got to do. I'm saying, start out humble, don't be tempted by this money and all. Create yours, let it not be important to you. Put your music, your art first. The craft first, and you're gonna eat off of that, man. Once you get in truth, that's your reward at the end of the day. It's not the pocket full of money, because I can guarantee you it's an empty ride. It's an empty ride. You can have all the money in the world and all, but if you ain't got nothing to live for, you'll be 70-something years old. You'll just be sitting there, like, working at Walmart. What? But not even working at Walmart. By then, they done kicked you out and put you at home and give you a little check, and then you just sitting there, and then you watching the TV, and the TV's not interested no more, and the politics is all messed up, and you getting a little bit older and a little bit meaner, and it's just you ain't got nothing to live for, man. You ain't got no passion, no drive, no determination where you wake up and you want to go do something. And it's not that you're pushing a movement. It's that's the great thing about art, and once you evolve on that, you're really interacting with the people on the deepest level, I feel like, especially with the music and film. And I think to a lot of people it's just scary. It's an unknown. It's like saying, do you want to go to space? They say, fuck no, I don't want to go out there. It's scary. It's scary. But me, coming from being left alone a lot of the times, I've always described it as walking through the woods at night by yourself. I know I've been there, and I know the fear that becomes that. I've been there and did it and made it through it. Yeah. And it's not, that's where I dwell now. That's where I stay. That's my comfort zone, because I know
you embraced it.
Everybody is scared there. And that's that stage. That's what was a good freestyler. That's how you're a good freestyler. You got to truthfully not give a fuck. You got to look the bear or the boogeyman or whatever you want in the eye and say, I don't care, and truthfully mean it, you know.
You gotta feel it.
Yeah, you gotta really been there and say, cuz it gets a lot worse than this, dog. This ain't scary. I'll show you scary. You don't, if you scared by this, you a chump. If you already flaking under this pressure, I can only imagine some of the shit that I done seen, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. It don't make sense, but there's different levels, you know, and everybody's at different levels of it. I understand that. So the main thing, number one tip, we're gonna highlight this. Number one thing, all that I said, as a producer and you go to work with an artist, you need to have that talk with yourself and have them thoughts, and then say none of that shit fucking matters, and my artist is more important, and where are they at. that's the being a good producer. We got our beat. First thing gonna do though, I ain't teaching you how to be a producer. You know, I'm just giving you a rundown of my job.
No, that's perfect.
Before we do jump on to the program and I show you a little bit about that, anything on that?
I'm learning, dog.
He said I'm learning. I'm learning.
Like I said, this is the cool thing about this, and for the audience that we have now, and hopefully our future audience, is they're being able to have a peek inside of a world that most people don't see.
A lot of this will be how I operate, and a lot of people understand how, man, you think 10 thoughts and you say one. Most people think that I'm saying 10 and 10. Absolutely not. If you had 10 and 10, they'd be put me back in the, you know what I'm saying? They'd have been going to the nut house, Chris. Something's happening.
You'd be running through the woods with your straitjacket on.
right. That's how that's the thing. Nobody wants to hear all that, and you can't expect it because you wouldn't want everybody to say that everything come to their mind. But there is some stuff you know you only got one life. You got to say what you got to say. Take what you can take. Everybody, I know there's Pro Tools, there's Logic, Pro, Reason, Ableton Live, anything. You could be using the Microsoft Sound Recorder and chopping beats if you wanted to, or stretching them out. We using Fruit Loops 11. I know that they got the 12 out and the 12.0.8.3, whatever. You know, they had all these numbers and stuff. I'm still on the 11. They reformatted it, changed it, added a bunch of Wi-Fi capabilities and things that you can connect this, and it's all cool. But they just now changed this, and going back on it, it's a 7, 8, 10 year stretch of all their other systems that are formatted pretty much like this. And this is what people used to looking at. This is what I'm used to looking at. Getting used to all the controls and stuff. I'm still practicing on it. I still got that, and I'm operating it and getting fluent. And there is some really cool techniques and stuff, and we'll be getting to that soon. But for right now, we're still using 11. So I'll go ahead and call myself out on that. But
well, just look at it a couple years when they come out with the FL Studio Mears Beat Edition. You can just put it back the way you like it.
That's it. Customizable. There's certain little things I don't like about it, though. The way they changed it up, and I feel like this is the last great. Like now they've went too far on visually making it nice to look at, whereas before it rode that line. Some of the stuff it might be too technical, and it just, you know, there's a bunch of little zeros and ones, and it's not a clever little knob or something that pokes out to you. All the data it don't flow good.
Take away functionality from
right. But this was like in the middle of the realm, and now they're going to straight. It's built more bulky for touch screens.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like. I'm still using I'm a little bit more precise, so this works more fluid for me. USB keyboard works really good. You can move around. You can being fluent with your music, man. Coming in, everybody just jumps in and they start listening straight to sounds just as well as we're sitting here talking. We could have come up with 100 ideas for beats or songs or colors or emotions. Taking a little bit of time and thinking before you jump into it, I think, is real important. I don't want your subs to start criticizing me. He talked for like 10 minutes about bullshit.
No, that's fine.